Hey everyone, it's Aram here. So a new gacha game got announced literally out of nowhere, and it's called ReMemento White Shadow, which is developed by Black Storm. Now before you attack me for referring to it as a honkai star killer, if you think about it, in the gacha community specifically, any new gacha game about to launch that is similar to another mainstream gacha game will be called and referred to as the killer to that gacha game. And it really has been a trend in the gacha community for a while, especially with Genshin Impact, where any new open world gacha game that gets announced will immediately be called and referred to as the Genshin Killer. So it makes sense to call ReMemento a honkai star killer, and you will see why when I explain what that game is about and its features. Spoiler alert, it does have its similarities with Honkai Star Rail. And also I will be explaining why it's not a honkai star killer, and no, it's not because I'm a Hoyusho, okay? But first, what is ReMemento White Shadow? It is a JRPG turn-based gacha game and also open world. The team is planning to release it as soon as before the end of the year, or early 2025, which is genuinely way sooner than expected considering that this game kinda came out of nowhere, or maybe I just never heard of it before. And the devs claim that one of the main differentiator between this game and the others is the dark tone that this game has, and if we read over here, it has more than 100 fully dubbed cinematic cutscenes, which is genuinely a crazy amount to have at launch. But I hope that they didn't forget that quality is better than quantity. Let's hope the cutscenes are actually high quality and not just a 10-second cutscene every while that serves zero purpose to the story or whatever. They also say that it is a open world game with no loading screens. They do also mention real-time weather changes, which does help in making the open world aspect feel more complete. I'm kinda curious what they mean by no loading screens. Shouldn't that be a thing with all open world games? Like, there shouldn't be a loading screen if I'm gonna go from here to there. I don't know. Maybe they're just mentioning it for the sake of mentioning. It also has high quality graphics developed with Unreal Engine 5 with real-time lighting and cartoon-like rendering to give it a distinctive anime aesthetic. So it's not gonna be a very realistic game, but more cartoonish, to fit that anime vibe, which does make sense. It's also very fair. And also looking at the arts and characters, their style does look really nice. It does give a medieval, dark castles type of vibe, if you know what I mean. Once again, I'm hoping that the actual game does feel like how the pictures make it feel, which can be kinda hard to pull off, but it really goes down to how skillful the developers are at making their games. And now for the biggest thing about this game, which is what I think makes it really different from Honkai Star Rail, and the fact that the devs aren't directly competing with Honkai, is that this game has PvP in it. Yes, a turn-based gacha game with PvP game modes, and I wonder how that will turn out. Now the devs really know how to pull off a PvP gacha game with good character balancing. Looking at you, Honkai. It will be playable if you're not planning on spending $1 billion every month on the game. So going back to the main point of this video, this game is not a honkai star rail killer because, think about what I'm gonna say. The types of players that this game will probably attract is going to be a different type of players than what Star Rail already attracted or will attract soon. The type of players that Honkai attracts are players that want to enjoy a game with a nice story, get a character and build them every once in a while, and if they want, they can do the challenging game modes of Honkai 3 times every month. And these players don't want to deal with the PvP aspects, like the ranking in the leaderboard, or we're not getting the latest and newest best character doesn't make the game unplayable and almost impossible to win. Now I'm not saying that Honkai doesn't have its fair share of hardcore players and some content for them, but I'm talking about the more common side of the player base. Whereas ReMemento will attract a player base that wants to spend money just to obliterate players that don't and feel great about it respectfully. Or the type of players that have this mindset: I spend more money than anybody else and I will always win in this game. Which does feel really good, think about it, and it's genuinely very fair if you do have the money. So the thing about ReMemento is that they can release a character that is so good to the point where if you don't get lucky and don't spend money, you automatically lose to the one who got lucky, or the one that was unlucky but spent $1 billion to compensate. And also these players probably do enjoy the importance of building a very good and strong team, and they study combat strategies, if there is any, aside from spending more money actually. So unlike Star Rail, where you can probably get away with not using the best team and the strategy, but keep in mind that all of that is considering that it will be similar to how every other PvP gacha game is. So aside from maybe story content, exploration, and whatever other stuff this game offers, the long-term players of this game will be the ones who are willing to spend all their money whenever the meta slightly changes. So, in a nutshell, the reason is because this game has PvP in it, whereas Honkai Star Rail does not have PvP. This game is probably going to be targeting other PvP gacha games instead of Honkai Star Rail, which makes way more sense to do that. So still we don't have enough information about this game to tell what the devs are actually cooking or the quality of the game, because so far we have basically zero gameplay except for only one trailer they gave us with 2 seconds of the gameplay, which isn't enough. We gotta wait for the beta. Yeah, I still stand by the fact that it will not be a Honkai Star Rail killer for all the reasons, or just this fun reason I mentioned. And if you've enjoyed watching this video, leave a like and a sub, and do share your opinion in the comments down below.